The Alma Manson Show is a contemporary variety show. We cover real-life stories, seeping in lessons.
We bring you great shows, we help you make better choices. We are your one-stop educational channel. Watch us daily for motivational updates.
Well, hello. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So today is a Saturday born this thing. I am Amma, he's Kwame. So it's a Saturday this thing.
Yes.
Right. Those of you who have joined us, you are joining us for this very exciting conversation. Kwame is telling some stories that are very exciting. I want to know about him. And those of you who are also curious, I invite you to check the comment section. So we published that we're going to have personality conversations and interviews, and this is a personality conversation. And so everything is about the person, and we're going to start from there. So Kwame, I will let you introduce yourself to the audience the way you want them to get to know
you. I'm already happy to be here. I've been a big fan of yours. Not say big, but huge fan of yours for a long time. I've been following your page. I've been following your page quite interestingly, and I've been following everything that you do. Okay, cut to the chase. My name is Kwame Sapon. I am an ESL teacher, so ESL meaning English as a Second Language teacher. I teach remotely across South American schools, English schools in South America, so Peru, Chile, Colombia, Venezuela. But currently I'm attached to a Brazilian school, and I've been teaching English there for quite some years. So yeah, that's pretty much me. Currently I'm based in Accra, Ghana, and I am a PWD, that's a person living with disability. So that's pretty much about me.
Well, pretty much about you, but you've thrown some big ones. I'm going to go there. You know that I'm very excited when I see. Yeah, I like it when people live at home and they enjoy all the trappings of living at home, but manage to work remotely so they can earn to the dollar. And you seem to have done this for a few years. Let's start from there. How does a person live in Accra and teach across South America and teach English? We don't. Please explain.
Interesting question. I started this accidentally. So I was on an app called Quora, and Quora is an intellectual platform for intellectuals, more like a Facebook for intellectuals, and people will post comments or have intellectual discussions over there, and I'll be commenting. So there was a particular one that had to do with teaching for disabled or persons with disability. So an Indian guy offered that, there's an app called Hello Talk, where they host South American students there. So anybody who is interested in teaching English and especially grammar can hop on and start teaching people. So I hopped on the app, started offering to teach people English. Actually, the goal was to brush on my German and Spanish and Portuguese. But when I got on the app, they were interested in my English lessons more. So they made a deal with me, or I made a deal with them, and they said, well, Kwame, why don't you teach us the English lessons, and then we would teach you. When we become fluent, we will teach you our language. Apparently, one of the students who was always joining my live class was now my boss, or my business partner now. He was part of the students. So he was watching me silently. He wasn't commenting. He was just liking the post. And then one time he got up and he said, I'd like to have your WhatsApp. I said, what do you mean? can we do this on WhatsApp? I'm a teacher and also a contractor, an educational consultant. I'd like to recruit you for a huge job across South America. Will you be interested? I thought it was a joke because it sounded too good to be true.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, finally, okay, yes. So he signed me up for some trial classes with some Spanish students and some Brazilian students. I did it, they loved it, and that was when I got signed up. And like they say, the rest is history.
I mean, like I said, this is very exciting for me because
Hmm.
every time you speak, you throw me gems. Those of you who watch me, every sentence you make has a gem in there. I always talk about don't wait for opportunity to come knock on your door. Walk around with your door so opportunity can be knocked on. If you didn't go on this application, and I am a living testimony of this also. Most of my biggest breaks come when I don't think anybody's watching. The
Mhm.
people who connected me to big things found me when I was already doing my thing, when
Yeah.
I had already made my move. It's not a lot of people are waiting for somebody to come to their aid and to come and take them. But if you don't make a move and if you don't present yourself on platforms, who will see you?
Yeah.
The guy
That's
came to you because he knew your teaching style already, because he had watched you. You had already had your
Exactly.
interview before he contacted you.
Exactly.
And these platforms are really available, but there are so many people who will not make a move and will be sitting crying.
Yeah. 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 And I must add this that I did all this for free for 4 years.
Bam! Now we are talking.
Without being paid. Without being paid for 4 years. For 4 years, without being paid. For 4 years. I did this for free. I taught people for free, English for free, without being paid for 4 years. So that is even a kicker in some sense because most people think that, well, opportunities come, you are just lucky. You are
Really?
just lucky to land this opportunity and blah 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 blah. Then, especially with my friends, and I remind them that remember when 2016 I was borrowing credit and airtime from you to buy data to recharge on my phone. Remember, those were the
Yeah.
times. But I was doing it excitedly, right? And I knew that there would be an opportunity to do this one day, right? Today, today I have the privilege of sitting at home here in Accra, but tutoring across South America. Okay? And people ask me, how did you do it? And I said, no pain, no gain. No
You
pain,
know,
no gain. You have to give up something to earn something.
you are just an excited man. You know. Yes, honestly,
I'm
most of
honored.
our people
I'm honored.
like to have people will tell you now that you are lucky.
Mhm.
These people will not remember the time where you were borrowing credit. They don't want to know.
Yeah, yeah,
They don't want to
yeah,
know the number of hours it took
yeah.
you to stay on those fora to comment, and not lead anywhere. A lot of
Mhm,
us, instantaneous benefit. We want to turn up and we want to make money yesterday. And
mhm,
so,
mhm.
so many people who have started great ventures, but they abandoned it because it's not
Mhm.
converting immediately. And there's no money in it. Sister, man, it's not true. It doesn't work. I'm like, really? How
Right.
long have you been
I I should also add that I was unemployed at the time.
Mm,
So yes, the reason why my story seemed interesting to a lot of people is because of all these things. Because I was unemployed at the time. I used to work for a tech startup here in Accra, and I was fired because they weren't able to pay me over some time. So because they couldn't pay me, they paid me virtually my transport fare, right? So it got to a point that the IT services and the softwares that we were building for most companies, because it was a startup, the salaries couldn't, match up our
yeah.
work. So I had to be laid off. And it was a voluntary layoff because offered the company that, okay, why don't I stay home and then you pay me data and I work for free. I was willing to work for free, but even that, our cost couldn't cover it, so I had to quit. And I was at home looking for jobs. I'll go to this government agency, go to that government agency, go to this government agency. Oh, you are physically challenged. You are the sort of person we want to help, but unfortunately, we can't help you. Then I'll cry, I'll come home, cry a little, pray to God, God, why this, why that? But then I stopped crying because I remember when I was in the university, I when I graduated, I was like 24, 25. And the first audio that I heard was from Brian Tracy. And Sister Alma, ironically, he said the first word I heard from him was, if you're 25 years, which I was at the time, and you still blame your parents for everything, excluding yourself, you are the problem.
You have been a problem because your parents stopped being responsible for you at 21 max.
Exactly.
25,
Exactly.
you have been responsible for 4 years. But you know, in Ghana, you will see 55-year-olds still blaming their parents, but you have been responsible for your life longer than your parents were ever responsible.
Exactly. Because more times I have been on platforms educating persons with disability where I tell people, look, it's high time we stop being, pampered, and we stop being the miserable ones. Oh, poor me, poor Kwame. Nobody cares.
Now, Kwame,
Nobody cares.
stop there. What is exactly the poor about Kwame? You are a graduate. What is poor about you?
Exactly. Exactly.
You know,
Nobody cares.
you are privileged, but it's so easy,
I am.
especially where you are from, to forget about the privilege and to focus on ridiculous learned helplessness, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
it is.
are a graduate. Your brain is intact. Your eyes can see.
Mhm.
You can sit and talk to me.
Yep. Yep.
What else?
Yep.
What do you need, Kwame?
Virtually everything, not actually. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse.
No.
I I'm also lucky to have grown up from a family where virtually everybody is an intellectual. Everybody
That,
is an intellectual, with the exception
that
of my parents, because my parents are hustlers. They work their asses off in Europe to give us the best life. And for example, you can't go and tell my father that I'm a disabled, so I don't want to work. Oh, God should do something for me. My father will give you give you a hot slap before he even says a word, right? And my brothers, we are all boys. We are all boys. And boys, Stama, we do not have the maternal instincts like you women do. Okay, so everybody gets up in the morning. I remember when we were kids, we get the money to go and buy our regular watch in the morning. My younger brother takes my money and he says, okay, I'm going to buy watch it. Would you want one? If I say, okay, when you go and you don't get it, wait for mine, wait for a few minutes. Then he says, if you want me to wait for yours, then come for it, let's go. All right? Come for the money, you can get it, hop on your crutches and let's go. And I follow him. I had to follow him. I had no choice. Right? No choice. So that built my resilience as a child. Okay? That built my resilience. I used to hate them. I used to hate my siblings. I'm like, you guys are mean. But now, on hindsight, now as an adult myself, I thank God that they did that.
That is what you needed. Because if they had done what people do, you would end up one of the typical disabled person in Ghana at a joint asking for money, or on social platforms begging for money. Let's strip down and go. So, living with a physical challenge, is this something you were born with, or is this something that developed over time?
Okay, my story. Let me start it this way. So I was born in '86 in Kumasi, and I wasn't born with it. I think it was a medical malfunction, or a botched medical thing got wrong, and my parents didn't know. Okay, they didn't know. My mom didn't know. My mom had just returned from Germany in '85, just around November, December, and then she had me in January '86. So she didn't know. And my mother's gynae at the time is a famous politician in Ghana today. So she had me, and then about 3, 4 months, I was very lean. I was born preterm. I was born like 6.5, 7 months. So
Mm.
she had me, and then 6 months in, a year in, she realized I couldn't walk. She went to the doctor and was like, "Doctor, me ban one until
Yeah.
and I was like this.
Yeah.
I had this.
Yeah.
So this gets me teared up. So my mother,
No,
my mother was a my mother was a seamstress then at Kumasi, uh, around Aswasi, Abu Abu area, because that's where we lived. We lived around Abu Abu Akrim in Kumasi. Shout out to all those people who know those areas. And
you
my
were
mother's my mother's friends at the time, this is the part that gets me teary. My mother's friends at the time told my mother, they humbly advised her that she should go and give me up in the sea.
yeah, as we do. We are very quick to
Yes,
advice. Yeah.
exactly. Because I'm a gift baby, quote unquote, from the sea. Because I was like this
Yeah.
all the time. It's like this. And my mother, she never budged. She thought about it, but she never budged. She told my dad, who was in Germany at the time, because she had come to Ghana. So she had to stay because of me. She had to stay because of me. My dad was, so she told my dad about it, that that's what my friends have been telling me. I'm scared. What do I do? And my dad said, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. The child talks, he cries, he hears, he plays. Don't do it. And it's through this that also that my parents became Christians, because my mother went to Santasi at the time, Resurrection Power and Living Bread, that time the infamous Ghanaian prophet or pastor, Sofo Mwako, as we affectionately call him. He was having an all-night session, prayers on Friday. My mom took me there, and according to my mom, because she told me this story, Stammer, I never knew this from '86 until 2015 that my mom told me this story. So she took me there, and immediately, she said, immediately she entered the church, the man started prophesying that there is a woman here who is planning to throw her child into the sea. Madam,
Oh, well,
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Otherwise, you'll be answerable to God. That child is your saving grace. Don't do it. Don't do it. And that was when my mom became a Christian. She became a Christian because she had never heard of this before. She had never heard of anyone prophesying about
mm,
anything like this. Okay, that's when she became a Christian. So anytime my mother hears of prayers, she asked me to pray until I was like 26. My birthdays, I used to not eat. I'll fast on my birthday, 11th January. Every year, 11th January, I'll fast until I was like 26. Then I said to myself, pack your bags, enough of the pity party. Don't pity yourself, because you have your own life to live. You have your
absolutely.
own life. And that's how I transformed my life from then.
Absolutely exciting. Hold on. Let me unpick some more. So you are an Aswasi boy, so a very hard boy, huh? That's an
Ababa
interesting.
cream, actually. Yes, Ababa cream, actually.
Close
Ababa,
enough.
yes. Yes, close enough. Close, close, close,
Yeah, to
close.
qualify. Let's go back to that community and growing. You've given some insights about your brothers
Mhm.
and your parents, but let's go to the community. What
Yeah.
was the community like where you grew up?
Okay. Funny enough, the first thing that I'd like to point out was there was a lot of stigma. Okay. There was a lot of stigma because the stigma was so intense, partly because they couldn't figure my disability out.
Yeah.
According to the neighbors then in the late 80s and the 90s, then when I was a kid, anytime I'll sit, you will not be able to figure out that I'm physically challenged. Anytime I'm
Mm.
sitting, because my legs were straight, they were not crooked. They still aren't. They were straight.
Okay.
I'll sit down, everything straight, my hands. The only thing that you realize was that my right hand was always like this.
Mm.
And then another visible sign was when I get up, then my legs would be crooked. So they used to call me Wodankajia. Wodankajia, meaning your legs do not touch the floor. Wonai enkajias. No, the kajia.
Yeah.
So Wodankajia. So they used to tease me all the time. And the irony was the people who said, oh, the people who beat their children, the parents who beat their children, they're like, oh, munchai, 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 munchai. They were the ones who mattered the most. You know. Yes, they will beat their children in public, in private, tell their children, don't go close to him. Hey, we are then so it was hard for me to make friends.
Yeah.
It was
It
hard
would be.
for me to make friends. So my only friends were my brothers. My only friends were my brothers, and they had no choice. So they took me everywhere because I had two older siblings and one younger sibling who is a neurosurgeon now in the
Okay.
US, and he became a neurosurgery. He went into neurosurgery because of me. So my brothers were my first immediate friends. They were my first immediate friends, and they were good ones. And they toughened me up. They gave me tough love.
Yeah.
They gave me tough love because everybody's on the go. Okay, because my big brother was in Opokwari at the time, the other one was in Prempeh College, and myself. So because of the disability, my younger brother, even went to school before I did.
Mm.
Yeah, went to school before I did. The school part, this is also the stigma. The neighborhood wasn't much because the neighborhood was just teasing. In my community, it wasn't much. But the school one is the one that traumatizes me even to this day.
Yeah.
I'm dominantly left-handed. So I do everything with my left hand. And this time, could you believe that when I went to school for the first time, as I would write with my left hand, you know, my first copybook, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I'd be writing it with my left hand, and I was whipped mercilessly every day on my left hand to desist me from using it so that I could use my right.
But you do know this, I'm an interesting one also, because for me, that technique actually works. I write with my right. My handwriting is terrible because I'm actually left.
I see.
My left is my leading hand. My baby sister, the technique completely failed, and she was stuck being handed. But I am actually, you will find most of the things I do, my left leads. But I was successfully socialized, so I wrote with my right.
Wow.
It was very common at the time. Yes, very common.
It was. I think I don't blame them much. I could realize now, thinking about it, all those years, 20, 30 years, 40 years, they did not have an awareness about disability.
No.
They did.
We did have an awareness of what mattered, not even disability. We were that first about people writing with their left. That was a problem. So imagine you walking funny, or talking funny, or behaving funny in some way.
I think I was a weird child to them because I wasn't good with maths. I wasn't good with numbers. You know, I wasn't good with numbers, but I was good with everything except maths. And I'll be teased. I'll be teased in the class. Yeah, Kwame on one class I trying formulas. Translating, Kwame is writing his own formulas.
Formulas.
You know, so I didn't know what to do. I remember Anytime my dad will call in the communication center and then they will wheel me in the wheelchair to go take the call, I tell my dad, Dad, my person be just school. I want to quit school. I want to quit school and study languages. I want to quit school. And my dad was like, "You're crazy. Go to the school. I'll pay the fees. I'll pay everything. Go to the school. Don't worry. Go to the school. Just face throughout and then get your literacy right, and that's all." And but what helped me was when I was growing up, as I was progressing, I became extremely intelligent.
Mm.
So those same teachers who used to beat me, they couldn't figure out. Akule, one or try ninsabunkum or trump wachia. His hands were skewed, my hands were crooked, I'm writing. I had difficulty in understanding, picking up things. But anytime they would post like the scores, I was either the first or the second.
Yeah.
I was either the first or the second, so they couldn't understand. And to the glory of God, I think I'm part of those people in my junior school who had the privilege of being promoted twice. So class two, class four, class two and class four. So for example, I didn't go to stage one, I didn't go to stage three. I went to class two, and then I was promoted. I had a double promotion to class four. Okay, so then I came a year ahead of my brother, and that was the fascinating part to them. Now going ahead, I faced other adverse challenge. For example, I couldn't climb the stairs.
Yeah.
So after primary six, we'll go to JSS. JSS, I couldn't climb the stairs. So it became a big headache for my teachers. And God bless their hearts. They had a meeting, continuous meeting every Friday. Kwame dear na yɛnyɛ mma no, how can we make sure that he has a conducive environment to learn safely?
Wow.
So I remember they advised and they planned that, for example, for my sake, together with my mates, we should come down. We shouldn't
Yeah.
go up. We should come down and have all our classes downstairs. And some of the insults I got from my roommates, like,
Because they wanted to be- Yeah.
when Netflix from I'm not from,
Yeah.
yeah, what GSS 2, GSS 3, and EMS, you GSS 1. I mean, literally
Yeah.
saying that for your sake, we should come down. Meanwhile, we are up there because we are seniors, but for your sake, we have to come down to the juniors level. And I told the school, I beg you, please don't do this. I'll force and climb up. I'll force and climb up. So it became a banter, an argument between me and the teachers that, oh, Kwame, let's help you. Let's help you. I said, I beg you. I don't want to be victimized. I don't want to be victimized. So let me stay in. Let me manage. Let me manage. I'll climb up every time. So I used to wake up. Classes will start at 8, but I used to get to school like 6.
You have to.
I had to.
Yeah. You have to.
I had no choice. I had to get to school like 6 a.m. Forcibly grind my way upstairs and sit down
And
quietly.
the audience, because when they are there, it will be horrific.
Yes. And then sit my way. So I used not to go to break.
Yeah.
I didn't go to break, first break, second break. I didn't go to my younger brother would bring me my food and bring me everything. When I wanted to pee again, that one also became a problem. Because I mean, not to shame my school and my neighborhood, but we had the free time system, the free time. So I couldn't even pee because I couldn't bend and kneel.
All inside that thing. You could actually.
Couldn't bend and kneel at the time. So my friends who are my best friends to this day, they devised a plan that anytime you want to pee, we would have to wait for the break time to be over so that we will hold your hand, help you to descend the stairs, then you go sit down and you pull your shorts down, then you sit and you pee like a girl.
Yeah.
Okay, you pee like a girl. This forced my parents to send me to OTC, which is the Orthopedic Training Center at Adwajiri in Sawim.
Okay.
And yes, so this was where I had some rehabilitation, disability rehabilitation, some training. They used to call it then machine learning. They used to call
Okay.
it then machine learning. And also before that, I had the privilege to live in Germany because my parents lived in Germany at the time, as I said. And luckily, like I call this divine providence all the time. My mother was a housekeeper, head housekeeper for a medical family, husband and wife, who were orthopedic surgeons.
Look at
So
that.
after my mother had me, and she was able to take care of everything, and then finally left in the early 90s. They asked her, okay, so you said you were going to deliver a baby. What's wrong with the baby? Why did you keep that long? My mom says, oh, these were the complications that I had. Then I said, are you kidding me? You should have brought the child with you. You should have told us. We would have paid for the fare. Nonetheless, we'll still do it. So I got a chance to live in Germany 1994. And so they examined my type of disability, and they said, luckily it's not serious, it's just a muscle malfunction, but because we Ghanaians we couldn't detect it early, it's
And
grown
treat
to
it.
be worse.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be worse. So my parents should make sure that they don't touch my legs with a knife. They don't touch any part. It's just I have to do some aerobics, some swimming, some biking stuff, which I started doing. So by the time I came back to Ghana that same year in '94, I was a little bit, exposed to handling
Mm.
my disability. So that one that I couldn't bend, it was just a few months that I had to sit on the floor and pee. But then with some rehabilitation again, I could kneel and then pee. And then adverse challenge, secondary school, the same situation popped up. My
Would
secondary school, I went to Asanteman, so shout out to Orden Ananum. I my teacher saw that, listen, this kid has a problem. This kid has a problem. Let's help him. And one thing that helped me, which I always say divine providence, was I became extremely intelligent with the exception of math. So I was an I was a straight A student, but an F in maths. So the teachers took an interest in me all the time. And in Asanteman, the same thing popped up. The same problem popped up. We had a retained situation, for example, which I still do to this day. If I have a running stomach, I'll not go to school. I'll not go to class.
well, because you can't run.
Yes, I can run and I can squat. I can run. I can squat.
Those of you who don't know what running stomach is, that's the Ghanaian term for diarrhea. Imagine you running when you have diarrhea. Let me distract you a
Yeah,
little bit.
you can run.
We'll come back to
Uh,
because you know me and how my brain is warped. I need to ask you funny
Yeah.
questions. Okay.
please do.
So
Please do. Go ahead.
you know I'm going to go there. As you were growing and these things are all developing, how did this whole situation with girls pan out?
Mhm.
How did the situation with talking to people's daughters and people's daughters into
Oh boy, that's a whole 2 hour session. Okay. Um. Oh boy. Okay, women. I think women were part of. I won't lie. Women were part of my being developing myself as a man. Okay, because I mean, sorry that you're a woman, but women are ruthless when it comes to dealing with people, that
Mhm,
they find weird. I
mhm.
remember, because I'm a fine boy, and I was intelligent. So women like to, get themselves around things that are, everybody likes these things.
Yes.
So I stupidly used to think, well, since they are around me, they were my
That they
friends, they were like me, right?
Oh.
So that weird part was, for example, I had a date with this girl. She's still my friend to today. I had a date with her on a Valentine's Day. We're young. We're young. I went to her house, and then suddenly my muscles contracted. Right? They
Ah.
were dancing. Everybody was dancing, and my muscles contracted. Kwame, get up and let's dance. Get up and
Oh.
let's dance. I couldn't dance, and I was like, "No, please don't bring the weirdness here in my house. In the class, it's okay. In the class, it's okay. In school, it's okay, but not here. Not here, not here." And from then on, I got so embarrassed that I never got close to women.
I
I
was
never
afraid you.
got I never got close to women
I was
because I
afraid
saw
you.
myself. I saw myself to be weird, and they were also not. So, for example, in private, they'll cozy up to me. Kwame, our friend, Kwame, our friend. When go public, oh, this is my girlfriend. Share who? Me? No, I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know you. Right? I don't know you.
Yeah.
I faced a lot. Women made me mature. They made me
Mm-hmm.
mature. I
They
was
make you
I
much.
was I was stupid and naive. I was stupid and naive to think that okay, everybody likes me. I'm the quote unquote star boy, you know.
Yeah.
I'm the teacher's pet, intelligent, so they like me. But no, I had to rudely learn between being liked and being attracted to,
Yeah.
right? Being liked and being attracted. Because I struggled with this. Why would you proclaim in private that, oh, you are my boyfriend? Okay, let's agree that you are my boyfriend. Okay. But in public, you deny me sharply. Say, oh no. So I figured it out thanks to most of their friends. They told me that look, Kwame, is because you are intelligent. My friend will want you to do her homework for her, right? So you two, you are kind. You have a big heart, right? You have a big heart. You do it. You do it for her. So that's it. And this continued even until university, right? Even until university. I I remember this is another funny story. I
Which
remember I was
you attend?
I attended Garden City University College, which is affiliated to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and
Okay.
Technology. Yes, it's a private university. And I remember this interesting story that we went for a dinner dance. We stayed
Okay.
until like 2 a.m. at the university, and
Okay.
they said, "Oh, because I was very popular there too in the university. They used to call me Otunfo. They still call me that anyway, meaning the king." And I was asked. My friends asked me, "Oh, Kwame, today we are celebrating our own thing. Just show us your girlfriend. Just show us. Just show us your girlfriend." And I pointed to one of my friends. I pointed to one of my friends, and then the insults she rained at me after that. She said, "Never in your life should you try this nonsense. I
Uh-huh.
mean, never in your life should you try this nonsense." Now, the girl who came to like me too was chastised. Like,
Mm.
why doing
Are
here,
you
man? This boy, what would he do for you? This is Imbuachia. Where man?
Kwame, you have to translate to English.
Yeah, he has a crooked waist, and I she used to tell me all the time that, Kwame, we have to hide this our relationship. So in order not to be persecuted more, we had to break up. So it had to be on and off. Today I'm your girlfriend. Tomorrow I don't know. Now glory
Yeah.
be to God. I'm engaged. I'm soon to be married. My Anyway, all glory to God. Anyway, all
On that
glory to
one,
God.
all glory to God. And a lot
All
of
glory
things
to
with. I am aware of some parents. I have some special needs parents who popped on that I do know. And these are the reasons why I want to pick these things up. Okay,
Yeah.
so Kwame, what I have come to know in this life is that you always need to find things to top up your deficits, isn't it? One of the things that put it up for you initially was the fact that you were intelligent. And that is street capital when we are learning.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, when we finish learning, intelligence doesn't really change much.
It does. It doesn't.
When you finish learning and intelligence is not much, right now, I have a feeling I know the answer to the question. But let me ask you, what do you think? What do you think is the affordance which allows you to leverage the playing field so that, in spite of all the stories you've told us, you are engaged to be married?
I think she would, to answer your question first off, she would be the best person to answer this question. But I'll say this. Yes, I'll say this. The number one leveler for me and her is intelligence, because ironically, I'm attracted to sapiosexual, women. So she's also up there, right? She's also up there. And I remember when I met her, and we met on TikTok too. We met on TikTok. Quite a strange place for people to meet.
All places.
And fall in love. Yes. I remember when we were talking, when we were doing the talking stages. She asked me, she said, you've kept saying you were disabled. You said, what kind of disability is it? Does that mean I'm going to be working for you and solely dedicated to you all the time? How much trouble? Let me know by percentage wise. How much trouble am I in?
Yeah.
And I said 90%. She said, God. Right? She said, God, really? That means I have to literally nurse you. And I said, no, because I can do things by myself. I work. I'm literally self-employed. I clothes, I bath, I do all these things myself. The only thing my folks do for me is to wash my clothes, which even I have dry cleaners I can send to do it. So you literally don't have to do anything for me. But what brought her on again was the intelligence, because she came to visit one time and I was having a class with Spanish students, and I was mixing Spanish with English.
I told you. I had my suspicion. Oh, yes. See, you've got to do things that other people don't do in order for you to level the playing field. And it's so important. A lot of people simplify this and relate it only to money, but it's not just to money. It is the fact that you are more than the average. It is the fact that you do things that people can't do. It's wonderful to come and see you sit in Ghana and teach your Spanish students. It's incredible to see that you've widened your network. And yeah, I'm very sure your earnings also don't hurt at all. The fact that you are not here coming.
Thank God it doesn't. Thank God it doesn't.
Doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. Not at all. I find it quite interesting. This is why I offered to do the interview, because it's interesting for me to be able to provide the same opportunities for people like myself who are in the same position. And I'll come to that in a second. But to add to what I was saying earlier, I think my intelligence came in handy.
Of course.
Because I'm someone that I shelve it. All the time, I shelve it. So a guy that will go to a room, whether it's a meeting, and must I add that I've also been a VP of Toastmasters, because I realized you are also a Toastmaster.
Really?
Yes, for 1 year. I was a VP of Kumasi Toastmasters.
I have been trying to engage Kumasi Toastmasters for a long time. I have a person that I want to join. So if you still have their contact, come to me and let's
okay. I know a few of people who are still around, but
Yes.
since then the group has been dissolved. But the Accra one still stands. The Accra
Okay.
one still stands, and I must say that I was made a VP on the spot because they gave me a question to answer, and then I told it, and they were like, "Okay, now since the club is a baby club, why don't you become the VP?" So it was also an honor too. So all these things were things that my fiancée now, my soon to be my wife, so it was like, nah, this guy is underplaying his card. I think he's super intelligent guy,
But I
and
think
I should.
those were smart girl, because you see, the foolish girls tend to dwell on certain things.
Mhm.
The ones who are smart will begin to think about the kind of children you want to have, the
Exactly.
kind of upbringing that the person will help you give your children,
Mhm. Yeah.
the kind of structure and education. And so, yeah, very intelligent girls will stop looking beyond the physical and will start looking at other attributes. And that will allow people to level. It's so important. You cannot be, if you have a disability, you can't also just be the ordinary man. You cannot.
So, Sister, I mean, since you are the interviewer, but it can make me to also ask, how would women or how would a woman in a position like, but how will a woman in that position be able to identify potential in a man?
Oh, a potential in a man is something a smart woman will pick up in 2 minutes.
Mm.
And there were so many people who would say to me, I would ask you 2, 3 questions and I knew where you were going or you were not going. I would ask you questions about your plans and the plans you would give me. If your plans was buying a Toyota Corolla, you were not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
If
Okay,
your plans revolved around building foundations that could be built upon, a person would be interested. Like I said, for me, anyway, I'm also very similar. I knew the kind of children I wanted to have, and I knew the kind of children I wanted to raise. And so, in the community of friends that we were in, there are some people that were undateable in my book because I was not about to babysit a fool whilst I raised his kids. We couldn't do that.
Interesting.
So people, we were in Ghana recently. My husband had his birthday, and our group of friends who have been friends for a long time, and people were asking me. So one of them brought up that he had asked me out, and my answer was hell to the no. And everyone, hell no.
Wow.
What do you mean hell to the no? What kind of kids will I have with you? And
oh God.
wow. No. People were laughing at the time, but actually most of the conversation was actually quite serious. And I'm sure there are women who really, especially for our women, people always think that the decision is to do with money. It's not.
Ooh.
Smart ones, it goes beyond money. Me, I didn't need a guy to make money because I knew I could make money. I can.
True.
I needed a guy who had similar ideals to how I envisage children. One who had grown up with both of his parents, like I had grown up with both of mine. One whose father, so when it's Father's Day and you see my husband, or when my son was going to graduation and my husband was dressing him and putting the tie, these were the things I was checking when I was choosing my husband. These were the conversations I was having. Is he going to teach his kid how to pee, or am I going to have to teach a boy how to use an organ I don't have? Is he going to teach his son to shave beard because me, I don't have beard? How am I going to? These are the conversations that you have, and some of the people would look for these potentials. Funnily and sadly, the guys who tend to have these things in place also are sensible and clued up enough to make enough money.
Indeed.
People assume that the decision is always to do with money. Not necessarily.
So you're an essence grinder.
Yeah. Oh,
because
yeah.
I remember an article you wrote relating to this, that you titled it "The Essence Grinder,"
Actually, it's more powerful in Chi, considering you will translate for me. So in Chi, yeah, in Chi, this is the actual expression. Or yam to drew manage yam and sign home. Let me say it again, and you can translate. Or yam to drew.
Very true.
Ah, me home bon to drew manage yam and sign home. What yam is said to drew bon? Yeah.
So true. So true. So true. So true. And that post stayed with me. I showed it to her and I was like, wow, this woman has been able to write about how she became a pillar for her husband's development. How many women could do this? You know, how many women could have the potential, could have the patience actually to wait for a man to develop and help the man to develop?
It is two-sided.
Because,
and also
because I
environment.
Exactly. And I remember there was one video of yours that you were writing your PhD, you know, you're writing it down, and I think you were doing a live video session at the time also, and then you were commending your husband that you guys were both working both, you know, side by side, that your husband would take care of the kids and whilst you focus solely on your PhD thesis. And I said, isn't this the essence of relationships?
Absolutely.
Because now what I think relationship is about, it's become monetized.
Really? Money is the least. I mean, how hungry are you? You will get fed.
It is. Sister, I agree, 100%. It is. But see, money is a number. Money is a numbers game, and it dwells in value. So, for example, if you could see someone with a earning potential of say $2,000 today, what's the guarantee that he will earn $2,000 in 10 years? You continually earn $2,000 in 10 years. What's even the guarantee that you can see that this man will earn, let's say, $1 million if he starts this business? Quite recently, I was listening.
That's why women like your prospective wife has made calculations. She's realized that in Ghana,
she makes it all the time. She makes it all the time.
Yeah, she's worked out. Okay, so Kwame is now able to teach people in South America. If the going gets tough, he can go in China. If the going gets tough, he can go global. So again, in evaluating you, she would easily calculate and work out that you have got secure foundations. So it's not really about the amount you are earning right now. For the strategic woman, it's not about the amount. It is about the setup. It is about how scalable the setup is. It is whether she can get on board and she can push you. So maybe you are now focusing on South America. If you met a woman like me, very soon you will find a business plan which has your name in China. Actually, sometimes people will write to my husband and give him offers, and he's like, "When did I apply? I applied for him."
Yeah, very true.
Sometimes
and
to
add to what you are saying, that's why I'm also saving up to sit for the PGCE.
You should. It's a must.
So that I'll be able to sandwich between the actual classroom and the virtual classroom. You know, even though it's up, I think I found one in University of Sunderland or Buckingham, which was going for like £9,000.
Dundee has a good program, and the price is not too bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, you can send it my way. And so now both of us, but me and my fiance, we are saving up. We're also looking for sponsorship. If anybody could sponsor, because we have a dream. My partner and I, we have a dream. My business partner and I, and my friend, and also my boss, we have a dream that I'll be heading a disability part of the education, because we are building foundations to inculcate disabled people into our education stream in the near future, starting 2025. And because he was inspired to do this because of me, I'm the only teacher in his fold who is physically challenged. So he wants to do something across Brazil and across the South American continent that would embody disability in itself.
Absolutely.
more like a corporate social responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to find a way that I could bridge the gap between the physical classroom and the virtual classroom. That's where the PGC came to mind. I remember I spoke to you, or we spoke. You were holding a training on PGC, and then we spoke, and we were able to. I think we spoke on it, but we couldn't expand it. We couldn't expand it because I couldn't fund myself. I
Yeah.
couldn't fund myself. But I said that I never gave up. I still want to try. I still am trying. I'm saving, and I'm hoping to God for a sponsorship to do this because
Let me also
education is my passion.
let me throw a few things in there. Okay. So if you want
please do
to
so.
especially if you want to study. One of the interesting things you could do is look at areas, especially places like here. If you could find,
Okay.
or in Qatar, or in Saudi, or even in China, a lot of these
Okay.
places, schools who will pay you at a graduate entrance level because you don't have the teaching qualification, but will support you to do so. Okay.
Okay.
And the program was the Graduate Teacher Program, GTP. It's
Okay.
an OTE, it's a teacher entry route where you work, you get paid,
Okay.
train. So that might also be one to look at. Some of the international schools in Accra might be able to support you to do that. You could work for
Okay.
them, and they could pay you a nominal fee, but will support you to get your training and to get qualification. And I think those things might also be a good routine if you can't fund 100%. So yeah, it might be good to have a sponsor, but you don't need to wait for a sponsor.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
So go back and look for alternative teaching qualifications. The graduate teacher program in England, the GTP program,
Yeah.
would give you an
Yeah.
idea. SCIT, school-centered initial teacher training, the SIT. You will find a lot of schools who actually advertise to get teachers who are not yet qualified. They pay you lower than what they pay a qualified teacher, but they support you to get
Wow.
qualified. There are many interesting things out there.
Wow.
Many interesting. So PGC is not the only way. There are many, many things, many, many routes in. Yes, it would be fabulous if somebody would pay the fee for you, but you don't have to pay the fee.
Mm.
You know?
I think I will be coming here because to be honest, I didn't know all this. I didn't know all these avenues.
Yeah.
I've won the lottery coming here. I didn't know all these avenues, and I'll
It's been
gladly
great.
research them. I'll gladly research them.
School-centered initial teacher training is a good one.
Can I
yes,
ask if it will be possible? Can I ask if it will be possible for some mentorship?
of course.
I would pay if it requires it.
You know where to find me, so come find me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
I will. Most definitely I will.
There are many things I can't tell you about, but teaching though, I've been
I
doing
will.
20 years. I have been doing mentoring of people. I've worked in schools where we had
Wow.
SEIT, and I used to be the mentor for Boston. At some point, I actually had a franchise with the university, and I helped people to put up their portfolios. They were overseas trained teachers, but they just needed to put a portfolio together to get the teaching licenses. There are so many ways to get qualified teachers, many, many routes. PGC is just but
Interesting.
one. It doesn't have to be the only one. So if you're a Dada B and you have the money to pay, go pay. But if you are not a Dada B, start looking for the school-centered initial teacher training programs. There are some schools even in Dubai.
Okay. I'm not Dada B yet.
If you are Dada B, Dada will pay for it, then go on. Let Daddy pay. But if Daddy is not paying, and you are looking for ways in, you don't always have to incur the cost of the PGC. There are other things you could potentially do. And yes, I would love to give you information.
Thank you, Stam. I really, really appreciate this. Because it's my dream. It's my dream to help people PWDs eat like me. Because this time I come to think of it, the further social rehabilitation program that the Ghana government holds for PWDs, it's soap making, beads making, making cakes or baking cakes, and that's it. And I often ask them a question that after baking the cake, after making the soap, how's the person going to sell? How's the person going to market?
No. See, again, this is the conversation we have. And if you are not careful, you will assume that it's only for people with disabilities. It's not. That is what social interventions anywhere is like. As those who live in Europe, if you are poor and the government gives you housing, it will be the poorest housing you will get. You will be in the worst rundown areas with the rubbish schools. That's what you will get. When you rely on social systems, you will be at the mercy, because the design of these systems is to give you breadcrumbs and not to really take you out of where you are at. If we help you to become Professor Emeritus, will you agree to be on somebody's poster next year?
Nope.
But if you are making soap and you can't sell it, next year when we come, you will open the door again, wouldn't you?
You would.
I see you smiling. So you see why it's constructed that way, because that's how it's got to be. If he were to take you out of your pocket immediately and make you instantaneously successful, will you agree to be on his poster next year? Will you come?
Yeah, you feel too big, so that platform will be beneath you.
Thank you. Now that you find it beneath you, who is going to elevate you above them?
Precisely.
That's the truth about it. If you are not careful, you will read it in a way, and that's the reason why, one of the reasons why I'm excited and wanted to speak to you. It's because for me, you've become a poster child for an argument I have always winged. There is nobody about to save you. There is no redeemer coming. Nobody is coming to help you. Nobody. The earlier you realize this and start elevating for yourself, the better. And in fact, the best kind of elevation is the one that you do for yourself. I'm sure at the moment, what you are enjoying gives you a lot of freedom, and you don't owe many people because you've got
it does. It does. It does. I can't tell you, Stama, how much of a respect I've earned in the midst of my family, friends, because you do not do quote unquote lala sulala with your friends. Oh, okay, tell me this one. Today, when we say, oh, we want to contribute and everybody should bring 500 or 1,000, me too, I will contribute some because I work.
Because you work.
I work. And the fascinating thing is you come see me in my T-shirt and in my headphones, leisurely teaching and earning money. So sometimes my mom would tell her friends, oh, me banu, watch a demo no computer. Literally say my son has been cooked up in computer all day, but he makes money.
Isn't that what is it? I kid you not. No matter how much your wife loves you, and I'm also a mother, and I'm saying this now on a level that is beyond just the money. But if my daughter brought a guy, and the guy was able or disabled, but the guy was not one who has got structures in place, and my daughter is going to end up suffering to try and feed herself and feed this guy, whether he has 4 legs or 2 legs, I will tell my daughter to be mindful and to back off, because I know how difficult it is to be in places where viability does not exist. And in the same way, I'm very sure if your prospective in-laws met you and you were not, Richard, I will block you too. The one before who came to do this, I deleted you. I will delete you. Do it one more time, I will block you. Have you paid me as your marketing agency? Huh? Let me block this one. I didn't even finish giving him the warning. He's busy posting more nonsense. Kwame, let's go.
Please, let's do it.
He is here to advertise for Lotto, because this is the lottery board's lunchtime special for him. As I was saying, your prospective in-laws will see you now, and they will see viability for their daughter, and they will see viability for your children. It allows them to see beyond the physical challenges you have, because what you have built and the way you've established have made those things irrelevant. The reason why families would have advised against a disabled guy is actually not because of the physical disability, you know. The reason why most people would say no to a disabled guy is because most disabled people will come as a liability to the spouse in their extended. And if you come as a liability, they will not want. Who is in a hurry to take on a liability? Nobody. So again, a lot of disabled people will come back and say, and her family said no. The family didn't say no just because of the disability. It's because there's no viability there.
Yeah.
Now that you are viable, I'm sure a lot of them forgot you even had physical challenges, right?
Let me say this funny. So I was going for, my in-laws are church folks. So we went for our first counseling session, and I was being introduced to the church members. And I remember my mother-in-law and my father, they said, "Oh, Yasenu, you know, I guess the prestige again."
With pride.
Yes.
With great pride.
Some pride, to say this. And said, "Oh, my mom knows my dad in the jeans or international man," and I was like, God. So suddenly I thought to myself, what if I wasn't all these things?
They will chase you with the shoe. See, you are laughing, but I'm also speaking as the mother of a young girl who is likely to choose. And as her mother, I don't want my daughter to go and bring suffering for herself, I don't want my daughter. No. I want my daughter to be in situations where she is coming to support a moving ship. I don't want my daughter to take somebody on that is a sinking ship, that she has to struggle to. And so if she brings anything that is a sinking ship, it doesn't matter whether you have 3 legs or 4 legs. As her mother, I would tell her, hey, this battle you want to take on is going to remove your hair. You will lose your teeth. Very soon, 1 ear will be gone. And you will not recognize yourself because, women who have done some projects, don't cope.
Exactly. I mean, I'm grateful that I've turned out the way that I am. And always I give glory and adoration to God because I have become unique in my own way. I'm unique in my own way. For example, my fiancée is in America, so anytime she has this presentation, because she's midwifery, she's a midwife. She's a professional midwife. Anytime she has midwifery talks to give across Ghana, guess who is sitting at the computer moderating her speeches? Me, right? But I don't know anything about medicine. I don't know anything about drugs. I don't know anything about childbirth. I just read and summarize everything that she has to say for her live as she's giving the talk.
But that's what intelligent can do. That's the difference between when you are intelligent and when you've just attended school. They are 2 different things,
Thank God I'm able to do this. My problem now, Stama, is how to leverage that kind of skill set into the people who don't have it, that wish to have it. I'll give you a funny story. So my boss called me one time when we were trying to roll this program, that program that will roll in 2025, the assistive education program for disabled people that want to. He asked me that I should do just a talk with PWDs in Ghana. So we have a WhatsApp platform. I'm no longer on the WhatsApp platform. And he said, Kwame, I would love to employ your folks, but I want people who have, listen to the interesting first one. I want people who have basic Wi-Fi, who can speak English and write English. That's all I need, these two. Right? And I said, so I went to the platform, the GFD platform, which is the Organization for the Disabled. And I said, oh, there's an opportunity to teach across South America, but we need teachers. We will train you. Don't worry, we will train you how to teach them, but we just need teachers who would have basic Wi-Fi at home. Guess the comments I got. Kwame, but we don't have Wi-Fi at home. Can't we use modem? Can't we use? And I said, no, you can't. But you're a PWD like us. Can't you talk to him for him to establish a program where you pay for our Wi-Fi? You pay for our Wi-Fi so that we can have the classes with the students. And I said, no, wait.
He paid for the Wi-Fi and then you get paid.
He should pay for the Wi-Fi. He should buy you a laptop, because there were three things: have a secured Wi-Fi, have a laptop. He didn't even add certificate, because I have a certificate, right? He didn't even add a certificate. He said have a Wi-Fi, have a laptop, talk to your friend so that he will sponsor us the Wi-Fi, buy us credit subscriptions. And I said, but it's a business. Who do you think will do that? He's not a charity case. He's not doing it for charity. He's just saying, I've told yourself having these opportunities, and I will let you fly. I'll give you the platform to fly. Because I remember when I was in the university, our last lecture we had in the university, now Dr. Talise told us, one of our lecturers was in our marketing class, he said, as you're about to graduate today will be your last class. So as you are graduating today from this class, let me explain to you what opportunity means. Then he gave us an example. He said, assuming the US Embassy came here, staff of the US Embassy came here to this class and said, we want to take folks to America. We want to take you guys to America. But we will take only people who have valid passport. A valid passport with them right here and now. Mm-hmm. Not, I have it in the hostel. Let me go and take it out. No, here and now. If you have a valid passport, we are taking you to the US free. Then he asked us a question. How many of you do you think would get the chance to go to America? Then all of us were in the class, quiet. Mm-hmm. And he said, that's what opportunity means.
Yeah.
So you should be able. And he after he finished, he turned to me and said, Kwame, I gave this example primarily because of you. Because you should be able to carve out your own self, carve out your own man, such that anytime you get a platform to speak, you should become an embodiment of change for people.
Bam. Bam.
You should be an embodiment of change for people. Don't let your disability limit you.
But you see, let me also extend this a little bit. And these are some of the very tough, very challenging things that many of our people don't want to hear. You see, Kwame, your problem is your leg and its ability to move. Me too. My disability right now is my fat stomach. For somebody, your disability is their empty pockets.
Yep.
I know it sounds like a joke, but it's not. Everybody has a handicap. The game is to limit the effect of your handicap. Mine could have been seen by some people as a handicap because my behavior is so off where normal people behavior is.
Oh, really? Wow.
You are going left. You see Amamansin happily swimming right. I'm off. There are many, many reasons why people don't fit in. You, it was your thing. Me, it was my behavior. Some people is the way they speak. Everybody has a reason why you don't fit in. It was when I was raising my son, and then I was thinking back to how my mother raised me. My mother's strategy was to make sure that all the good parts of me shine so bright that nobody has time to look at the other ones. If you see me for 5 minutes, you know my behaviors are very odd. But a lot of you still come here and you listen to me and my odd behavior because you find something useful. So you do. It is to make sure that the things that are bright are made so bright that they overshadow the darkness of the other things. And I think that's what you are doing, isn't it?
It is. It is. So apt. So apt. So apt. But I don't want to be my only pet is I don't want to be the only person in that space.
I joined the club, but I've also got a secret for you.
Please share. Please share. Please do share.
Don't you may hear my secret and you may not like it.
I'm all ears this hour. I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
So usually when you find yourself, and I find myself like that, I was saying to somebody last week, I found myself in 2 days of conference and I was the only melanated person there. I find myself in places where I am the only gay in the village. Yeah. And when I find myself the only gay in the village, the first thing you want to do is to drag everybody coming, kicking and screaming. You can't drag anybody to go anywhere they don't want to. You don't have the capacity to drag no one. It is too heavy a weight. You know the best thing you can do, Kwame? If you want to help other disabled people, there is one thing for you to do, for you to win and live such a good life that other disabled people see you and they get hungry to do it for themselves. That's the only thing you can do. You know that's right.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You cannot go and ask them. You cannot change anything. You live so well. You do so well. Let them see you shine. Let them see you marry and have children and live happily. Other disabled people will watch you and like, is this not the same disability this guy is living with?
So true.
Has this guy not found a woman with the way his leg is? So me, now that it's that message of hope, that is your assignment actually. Your assignment is to make sure that you win so well that you bring hope to those who might be similar and walk a path that could be dark. And because of you, this is the same thing as the Obama effect. Since Obama became president, now Black people dare to try different things because we've seen one win. We've seen one win. Even the woman was the last time. Everybody's trying now because we've seen there's a possibility. And that's it. You don't need to empty your pockets to go and start. You don't even need to start a disability foundation if you don't want to. You don't need to pay a dime to any disabled person. You don't need to interview for any disabled person. The one thing you can do, which is the most significant contribution to other people, is to be that beacon of hope. To let them see somebody actually win. They should see you with your in-laws and your in-laws treating you with respect. They should look at you and think, is it possible for a guy with physical disability to be revered this way? Hey, is it possible for a woman to marry a guy like this? And they have children. And that's the dream. There's this guy, I can never say his name. He's Eastern European. He has no arms, no legs. And he is on, I think I was
Nick Vujicic. Yes, Pastor Nick Vujicic.
Say Nick's surname ever. But you see, when you see Nick living his best life with his children, those of us who have 2 arms and 2 legs, me, I get ashamed. I look at what I've done with my life and I am ashamed. Because this guy who hasn't got a fraction of the limbs I have is living his best life. And this is me wasting 2 hands and 2 legs. So those who have 2 arms and legs, I get ashamed watching him. But anybody else who also have limb problems will see him and his wife. Have you seen his wife? Have you seen the kind of woman he got?
Yeah, I have. I have.
Do you know what that can do to somebody else who is also hoping, who is also dreaming? If you had when you were in idea. Exactly. If you were in secondary school, when you were in secondary school and you were getting bounced by the girls, if you had seen Nick, you would not have despaired because you knew that when you make it, it will be fine.
No, not even the wildest dreams.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny, but it's true, Zama. It's true. All those points you're saying, it's true because until I become something that people can look up to, I'll be just like any other case.
And what most people tend to do is instead of focusing on becoming the best you can, you want to spread things and empty your pocket to give every disabled person you see. They will all squander your money. They will do nothing for themselves. Because when you give money cheaply, it will be spent cheaply. And you will come back here in a few years and cry. I'm telling you. That's why I said, would you like my truth or would you
Can I ask, are you a soothsayer?
I think you are polite. People call me a witch.
Yes, maybe I've been charitable with the word, but you are soothsayer because I told you this about the Wi-Fi thing. Oh, Kwame, convince your friend so that he can buy. And I said, I can't do that. I can't do that for 200 plus people. I can't do that.
And you will start. I know there's something about when you make it out of a community, you feel guilty. And so a lot of people in the guilt go back. Tyler Perry has a very powerful interview he did on this. So Tyler is from a broke-back community. All his cousins, his friends are broke. Tyler began to make some money. He says the first year he made $160,000 US. He sent 10,000 to cousin M, 20,000. He forgot that he needed to pay his taxes to IRS. He thought all the money was for him. Cousin M, 10,000. Cousin J, 2,000. And by the time Uncle Sam hit him with the tax bill, he was barely able to breathe. He was back at that point. Those who have walked this path before have all discovered that you actually don't need to remove much from yourself to drag anybody. What you need to do to help other people from where you are is to be a great inspiration, to be the story of the one who made it out, to be so outstanding that people will see you and hunger and thirst to do it for themselves, because that is the only time they will win. They have to hunger and thirst. And your only job here is to be the beacon, the poster boy. You don't need to empty your bank account for other disabled people. You are entitled to spend your money. Spend your money. Buy your car. Be happy with your children. Put it around. If you don't even want to put it on social, they will see you in the community. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And one person who's doing really well with this thing is Ogidi Brown. Yeah. When you see Ogidi Brown, when you see Ogidi Brown doesn't give money to
I watch him all the time with his mother.
I am Artist Mami's #1 fan.
Yes, yes.
But again, have you seen Ogidi Brown busy giving money to any disabled person?
Nope.
But you see Ogidi Brown in his wheelchair and it's cute. You see Ogidi Brown in his modified car, and as a disabled person, you look at it and you're like, is this guy driving this car? So you can modify cars. So really what you need is cash in your pocket. So that's all you need.
It's true. That's true. That's really, really true. Because if not, it will become like the parable of the crabs in the basket. As you're trying to climb up and dragging everyone with you, they'll be dragging you down.
You must make it out first before you attempt to drag anybody. Otherwise, you won't make it out. And that's a mistake a lot of us make. I joke that my foundation will start in 2045. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. But really, now that I have children who are in universities, I cannot be doing charity to anybody. No. Right now, every dime I get should go into my children, establish them, and make them independent. When they are completely independent. Because right now, even if I decide to sponsor somebody's education, I will frustrate you. I will not be able to get money for you on time. I may even abandon the project in the middle. What's the point? 2045, I'll be a full sugar mommy. I can pay your 10-year school fees in one stretch.
Because funny enough, I think before our interview, I was watching a previous interview you had with one of your friends or one of your mentees, Evelyn, living in Vancouver, Canada, and I think
Yes.
you were saying something similar to her towards the end of the interview. That she says, "Oh, and Sam, I help people come to Canada. I drive," and then you asked that. He asked a very funny question. He said, "But does your car run on water?"
Exactly. You sit down and be helping everybody. See, there is a thing I saw on Facebook. I already had this in the back of my mind anyway, but it was consolidated for me on Facebook. There's a Ghanaian girl who creates content. She lives in London. I think she even worked for radio stations in London. She would come on social media and entertain these same people for a long time. She had been here creating for a long time. But because she spent her time creating content, obviously she wasn't at work. If she had a job, maybe she wasn't turning up. Kanko, how you doing? She wasn't turning up. I don't know the reasons. But she found herself needing money. And this girl mistakenly thought that the people she had been helping will help support her with a GoFundMe. Well, her name was Efia GoFundMe because she put a GoFundMe here. That's what they called it. The day I saw the Efia GoFundMe, I sat here and I thought, hey, Ama GoFundMe will never happen. You hear me? This Ama Manson is charging for every service I provide. Because the very people, and Nana Obri Yeboah has also said the same thing. So he went to the US. And when he was in the US, he was supposed to find a job and he was supposed to hustle so that he made some money take home. That is what is expected. Once the people saw he was in the US, everybody, hey, Nana, we want to speak to you. Morning, we want to speak to you. Afternoon. Guess what? He didn't find a job. When time to go back, you will look at your finances and you'll be slapping yourself with your left hand. I like the shock on your face.
Yes, because obviously I should. Because if you're not, because I'm thinking, putting myself in your shoes, I'm thinking there's a you offering our service, offering our expertise for free, offering our knowledge for free. I mean, it would be nice to give us a helping hand when we need it. But if it comes to turn on us, then
remember the minute you said that you wanted a sponsor for the PGCE, I quickly offered you an alternative way around it. In this life, the best thing to do is not to owe anybody and rely on anybody. It is the best thing you can do for yourself. You don't want to owe anybody. Yeah. When I was growing up, my mother was hustling to make sure, because my dad was in exile. And yes, my dad had family members, and my mom herself had family members. My mother would not go to anybody. But one of the things that has done for me is that I owe nobody nothing. Right now, I go if I want to go, and I don't go if I don't want to go. No explanations to anybody. That is actually one of the best ways to live. No ownership to anybody, just you. Yeah. That's why as soon as I said, yeah.
Wow.
As you suggested sponsorship, if you paid attention, I quickly found you a solution because the sponsorship.
Yeah, because I miss your face, Sterling. I get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
At all times, you must remain free. At all times. you should do everything you can to be free.
True.
Work hard.
True. And
So you are free.
I'm so glad I came. I'm so glad. I didn't know how this would turn out. I thought, maybe we just share my story. But I'm so glad I came. You are an amazing woman, Sister. You're an amazing woman.
You are an incredible man.
Thank you. I'm honored. Because I've learned so much. I've learned so much today. Because partly coming to this interview, I thought, okay, well, maybe when I tell my story, people would understand. This is the guy that we want to help. This is the guy. But like someone said, I was a motivational coach in America who said, no one's coming to save you because no one cares.
We are busy. You hear me? We are all busy trying to hustle. And those of us who are willing to give you the money have our reasons for wanting to give you. You will not like our reasons.
True.
Amma Manson sends you money. You better know that Amma Manson has my own agenda. And I've not even declared. You don't know.
True.
You don't want to take Amma Manson's money. Believe me.
True.
You want to make sure that you yourself will finish your qualification and then you are free to go and work wherever you want, however you want. At all times, remain free. If you don't remember anything from today's interview, at all times, remain free.
Remain free. Remain free. Because I can't tell you enough the joy it brings when the family sits and says, okay, let's wait for what Kwame would, compared to when I was broke and I was unemployed, you know. Everybody will look at you like, now Kwame on the card. Carry another card here.
You want to speak so that other people pay. Have you lost your damn mind?
How did you know?
I get it on this social media a lot. You will see some irresponsible big brother living some corner in Ghana. All the younger siblings are living abroad. And he's the one determining everybody bring this, everybody. And very soon the little ones will revolt. And the big brother will come back and you see the children, they don't respect. And I'm like, Oga, what have you given them to respect?
True.
Last week, you were in their DMs begging money for your children's school fees, and now you want them to respect. Respect what exactly?
So true.
When they are contributing, you don't speak. But then you want to make decisions on the contributions, honey. People won't let you.
People won't.
At all times, remain free. And the greatest of the freedoms is financial liberty.
That's the biggest of them all. That's the biggest of them all.
Biggest of the liberties.
Financial. Somebody couldn't have said it better. He said, "Who needs cow? Would it say again?"
Oh, but see, it is so true. I know we trivialize it and we laugh about it, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm so excited to see you, Kwame, because I want people who have children who have physical disabilities to realize that the physical disability is just a limitation. Everybody has a limitation. That is the person's limitation. But it is possible for you to surpass and transcend your limitations. Yeah, it is so possible for you to surpass. If parents would be able to allow their children, and like your dad did, if you ever make $1 million, give it to your dad. Because his refusal to let you quit is a great determinant of the outcome we are all witnessing right now. Him saying that you will not quit, you will continue, was quite significant because a lot of people would take their children out. He can't climb the stairs. But look at you. You climbed the stairs with great difficulty, but you didn't die. Did you?
No, I didn't.
You probably died.
I woke up early. I woke up early.
And I'm sure you ached and you were sore, but you got the education too.
God, with blood all over my feet, you know. Trying to get up because I was cast in POP at the time, and you had no choice. Nobody cares. Everybody gets up, and thanks to my two friends who are still my best friends to this day. They'll come to my house around 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. For them to carry me along. Just that we climb the class slowly and make sure that we get there before everybody comes. Because we didn't want to make noise. We didn't want to be making noise. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Hey, one by Kwame there, so I didn't be the mockery of the class. So I made sure that I was always okay. By the time everybody comes to the class around 7:30, 7 seated.
But you see, my dad's expression just popped in my mind. One of the things that my dad always said was, "He who laughs last laughs best." It was one of his favorite quotes. And I'm very sure today, a lot of the people who laughed at you are not laughing anymore, are they?
Nope. Today they point at me with pride. Like, I'm going to classmate because my classmate in school, you know. I'm sure if you share this video on the platform, many people will see like, "Oh, that's my friend." And when I hear such things, I tears begin to flow, and I'm like, thank God.
It's a change in the story, isn't it?
It is, Dama. It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. But the comeback thing that I enjoy most is with the women. They're like, if I knew that you tell her this way, I should wait.
But again, you see, it's funny. With you, it was disability. Different people, different stories. I remember a few years ago, we went to a place and somebody who had known me in Legon, the person says, if I knew you would be able to accommodate meat, I should have looked at you. At that time, you would have looked at me.
Yeah.
If I knew, when we saw you, if we knew that you would turn up this way. But yeah, everybody, different people and different reasons why people don't see potential. People don't see potential for obvious reasons. Sometimes you have your situation and you think it's just you. Even the physically able-bodied ones, not all of them are popular. There are some people who are not popular because of the way they speak. There are some people who are not popular because of the family they come. Everybody has a limit. Everybody has one. It's whether you will just get on with it and overcome your limits to live your best life, or you will sit there and let the limits overcome you. Because again, it was a choice. You could have also been making soap.
Yeah. I wasn't far away from them at all. I mean, from becoming them. I wasn't far away. I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know the funny thing they tell me these days when we meet, when I'm privileged to be invited to these disability conferences, and the people who know me, for example, they will know me. Oh, I'm in Nasa with the Wabusian was continue. Oh, yeah, you film. Told you, I was say, Bruni, to say it. And I told them it's not true. I'm a job. I used to live in the Zongos like you.
No, but if they found the money. Again, you don't apologize to anybody. This is what I say to people. Look, I am working so hard to get myself in a socioeconomic bracket because I want my children and my grandchildren to enjoy that leverage. If my grandchildren are born into money, you will not dare disrespect my hustle. When somebody's grandparents were making money, what were your grandparents doing?
Exactly. I used to feel guilty for it. And I tell people all the time, we are a middle class family. We had to hustle for 40 plus years to give us this life. Right? To give us this life. To this day, my dad and my mom both, they have muscle atrophy. They work with some challenge in their muscles. Right? But yeah. they forgo all this and gave us this life. Just so that we can sit here and do the things we're doing.
And so who can accuse you of enjoying your money?
Exactly. So now, even with this discussion that we've had, I have dropped the guilt that I feel that, oh, yeah.
That's what I wanted to give to you today. to walk out of this conversation because a lot of us carry that guilt. I wanted to absolve you of the guilt. I want you to know that other people's suffering is not your fault. That if you make progress, you are entitled to enjoy the proceeds of your progress. No, you don't squander your children's inheritance just because. Allow your children to enjoy the inheritance that they have been blessed with. And what you can do is live your best life to galvanize other people so they are hungry to do it for themselves. You don't need to do it for them. The day I learned this message, the way my body relaxed and I stopped trying to save the whole world.
I can imagine.
Wow. Peace of mind that I got. I wanted to bless you with the same thing because I got a feeling in the early part of the conversation that it's all about foundation, this foundation, that. The foundation will be nice. And if you are able to help people, do. But the first foundation is the Kwame Sapon Foundation, the Baby Sapon Foundation. That's the first one. And when you make money, you will enjoy some of that money. Allow your wife and the children to enjoy some. And then if there is leftover, of course, help everybody if you can. But the best way to help everybody is to give them hope that it is possible. And the best way to make them see such hope is for you to live so well that hope is obviously visible when they look at you. Have I done my job today?
You got more than that. More than that. So grateful. I'm so grateful. Initially, I was thinking I'm going to story and have a chat with my man because I'm educated and I'm aspiring to be like her. But changed my thinking. You've changed my thinking. Basically, in summary, this is what you've done to me. I mean, everything starts with you. You are the change you want to see. Mahatma Gandhi said, you are the same change you want to see. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything. You have so much to be great that the people that you wish to help earlier would see you in this state so well, but to also be the same without your help.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's it. That's all I can. Thank you
exactly.
so much. Thank you so much. I've been so
I came to the interview asking myself a very simple question. It came up in the conversation at some point. I like to describe myself as Oyam Etudru, I'm a bon Etudru, Manichi Yamanza, which Yami is and me, I don't have a penny to give you. The only thing I can give you is a slight change in your thinking, a slight augmentation in the way you see things. And so I was hoping today, my assignment to you today was to, one, absolve you of the guilt, and two, shift perspectives for you so that you are able to go full throttle, no holds barred, live the best life you can so that you can motivate other people who are living with limits.
I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I'm soaking everything in. I'm soaking. I don't know why I talked. I should have kept quiet for like 1 hour to listen to you because it's so true. It's so true. I want to get to the point where people say, look at that guy. That guy has made it. It's possible for us to.
Yeah.
It's possible for us to. Because for how long can I hold on to the guilt?
No, you can't.
Those PWDs down there, they are not my responsibility. They don't go to the school for me. As my fiance and I went on a date, and someone said, "Hey, your say now, and my My fiance said, but he's my husband. He's my
Exactly.
husband to be.
Exactly.
I take pride in saying that he is someone I want to be, because I see him to be a different person than you see him.
Yeah.
Right? And it puffs me up in the confidence, and gives me the confidence actually to believe that, listen, whatever you think was made up in misappropriately can be done in a good way to glorify God and to glorify people. Because if not, a case that was pretend in 1986 that was almost cast into the sea now is for millions of people. God, Sama, for people like you who have been like people like us. Like, both of us, we had pre-interview, we have different mindsets, but we are working away with the interview with a different mindset, all that we've been able to encourage each other and motivate each other and inspire each other to do and think different. I like the fact that you said, I have nothing to give you, but change the way you think.
That's all I can give you. I mean, what else can I give you that means anything? What could I give you that means anything? You know? I couldn't give you anything that would mean more. But if something changes the way you think, if after this conversation you begin to see more solutions within yourself, if after this you begin to position so you owe nobody and you live a more free life, then it's been a very useful encounter between you and I. You remember I told you my name.
Do
You remember my name?
yes, that sounds great now.
No, that thing was said to me by my grandmother. Oh. My grandmother died in 1992.
Wow.
She died in 1992, and it has stayed. And actually, as I am growing, I forgot it for years. And then as time went on and development happened, I remembered, oh, yam to drop and who bong to drew manage yaman sign, which yaman said to drew. And I can't even understand. I don't remember why and how she brought that, but that's what she told me was my name. You need to find your own name also. And when you find your own name, you can operate true to that. When people meet you, you should help them on their journeys, but you cannot walk people's journeys for them. You have to remember that. You cannot walk.
Amen.
Each person
Amen.
has to walk for themselves. What you can do is ease the suffering. What you can do is reduce the pain. You know, shed some light, but you cannot work for people. Don't ever forget that. I'll call you back and we will have this conversation stage 2, because there are many, many elements of this story I haven't unpacked.
Please. I would love to come back again just to soak gems. That's all. Maybe for the second interview, I'll just keep quiet. I'll just keep quiet and listen to you.
Okay, but how can you be the interview and be quiet? How does that work?
Because I've enjoyed it so much. I've enjoyed it so much that it's changing my thinking as we speak, because it's easy to fall into the pity party.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Because,
Yeah.
oh, poor Kwame, I pray for myself. I'm coming so that Sister Amma can help me get better, so that Sister Amma's platform can help me elevate. No, nobody has time.
No. Actually, next time you come, bring goods and services and sell them. Let people who
Of
watch
course.
you pay.
Gladly, I will. Trust me, gladly, I will.
Again, you are more likely to find customers who will buy from you, people who will want to use your services, and you can still raise the money and hold your dignity in the process. Do you see the thinking I want to bring here?
Yes. What I do, Sister Amma, I do.
Yeah.
You are only giving me the platform, but I'm responsible for leveraging any profits or any possibilities I get from then on.
Exactly. So you need to go and think. Today, I came to scramble your brains. I tend to do that accidentally. But now that I've scrambled your brains, go think again, reorganize. I'll call you back, and then we will talk in depth.
Please do. I'm waiting. Can't wait to talk to you again. Saba, it's so much of a pleasure. Thank you for giving me your platform. I wish to come on here again and again and again and again and share my success story to continue to inspire. And thank you for taking me in, because I remember the first conversation. I told you, oh, Sam, I'm a nobody. Oh, I'm not a celebrity.
What did I tell you?
Thank you. You said you are nobody too. Yes, you said you're nobody too. So let's be nobody together.
Haven't we had a lot of fun as nobody? Can you see my granddaughter sitting behind you?
We have.
That's my granddaughter. That is who I am. I am her grandmother. That's it.
God bless you, Sister Mo. God bless you for this. God bless you for this. God bless you for this.
For coming. Thank you for being so brave to share the story. Thank you for allowing me to go into some deep personal places. And I am so delighted to see your warm personality. It made the conversation so much fun. I think I am grinning too much. My teeth can fall out. That's how much fun I have.
I'm glad I was able to have that effect on you. I'm so glad.
Absolutely. So now you know where to find me. So come, let's talk. If you have questions,
I do.
Let's talk.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
So, Richard, thank you, and thanks for the opportunity. Bye-bye.
My pleasure. And for those of you who watch this, I hope that Kwame's story, especially those of you who are special needs parents, those of you who are parents living with children who have leverages to make, children who have difficulties to overcome. I like to share these stories because I want to give you hope. Okay? Initially, when your child is not working, it seems like the end of the world. But actually, after a while, when they figure out how to sit and do things, it doesn't even matter that much. Initially, when your kid is struggling to go up and down stairs, okay. But see, school is long, but it ends. It ends. Nobody is in school forever. It's only a phase. It's a stage that sometimes you need to weather. You support your children to weather as much as you can. If you are able to pour enough into your children to build them to a certain point, regardless of how they started, whether they were preterm, whether they had physical challenges, they can actually be in positions where they are attractive enough. I love, as a parent who started as a special needs parent, when I see somebody with special needs win, it gives me hope. It gives me hope. The day my son gets married, you will see me. Because as a mother with a child, oh yes, my son's wedding, you will see.
Oh, Nanaya.
Nanaya's wedding, I'm warning all of you, it will be an absolute mess. All done by just me, myself, and I. Because when he finds a girl who likes him and wants to stay with him and build a life for themselves, it brings the end and it finishes my job in trying to raise a boy to fit in and find his own space. And yeah, it's very important as a mom to be able to settle your children in. And I'm sure your mom will be the same, Kwame. Your mom's dream will be your
She's over the moon. She's over the moon. She's over the moon with this. She's over the moon. She's over the moon.
Because in the times you would wonder, will Kwame find somebody? Will somebody see my son? Will somebody look beyond? Yeah. Will somebody look beyond? Because this is an incredible boy here. As your mom, she would know it. But will other people see it? Or are the girls all going to be myopic and only look? And so for those of us whose children have not found people yet, you have given me hope. You have given me a lot.
Let's have one more request. I hope I get the link to go show her because she doesn't know. She has no idea. She has no idea I was holding this interview. I would love to show her this
You want to
interview
share it
later.
with her? Yes, of
Yes.
course. Yes, it's on the page, but I'll send you a link also. Yeah.
Please do, so that I'll show all my others, because they would love. Maybe in the near future or very soon, I would love to bring Yancy too, so that she shares.
Oh no, I was going to say I would love to listen to her story. I want to ask her. I want to meet her. That is one girl, strategic, intelligent woman. I want to know. I want to meet her. I want to ask her questions.
Oh, you will. You will.
Yeah.
You will. You will.
I cannot
You will.
wait. Yeah. Let's continue this conversation in the inbox. And for those of you who've been here to watch, thank you so much for joining Kwame and I. If you have any questions, please type it. And if it's something private and personal, feel free to inbox me. And if Kwame is able to answer, I will send you his answer. Okay? All right. Good night, everybody. I shall see you very soon.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining.